Hey guys, how's it going? Twiggs here, and we're checking out the First Descendant. I streamed it earlier, and it was so far an alright game. I do have quite a few issues with the game, but there are also a lot of positives that go along with it. So, before we jump into that, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, helps get the YouTube algorithm working in our favor. And if you do subscribe, you're going to be getting more gaming content like this, along with other games that I typically enjoy to play, and I love sharing with you guys. Also, hit the notification bell so you guys will be informed whenever I go live or upload any new content. So definitely check that out. So, the First Descendant. What are my thoughts? Well, the game for the most part is alright. It plays okay. There are some issues. One thing I noticed while playing this game is that traversal feels a little alright. It feels kind of janky. But you get this cool little grappling hook feature, which allows you to kind of zip line and go wherever you need to be. You also have a double jump, which is pretty neat as well. So the game does have some pretty neat mobility. I wouldn't say it's like top notch like Warframe or even close to like Warlock on Solar for Destiny 2, but it does have some mobility, and I'm pretty sure as people would play this game and get to master it, it might actually turn out to be pretty good depending on what characters you have. There's a character like Bunny that has a lot of mobility. She's actually a really fast character, and I'm pretty sure mobility on her would feel pretty sweet. Other cool things I noticed was there's actually a selection of, let's say, heroes that you can pick from. The starting characters are Viessa, Lepic, and Ajax. Those are the characters you pick from right from the beginning of the game, but there are also several others, like ones I mentioned, like Bunny, J-Bear, Glay, Sharon, and quite a few others as well, that kind of remind you of, like, let's say, mixing up Warframe. But kind of like Warframe, you can select weapons that fit your playstyle, but you still have a list of abilities that you can pick from to do whatever you please. Like, let's say Viessa has ice powers, Lepic has grenades and feels kind of balanced, whereas Bonnie has electric powers and is really fast. And there's also another dude who actually has fire powers. So there is a variety of playstyles when it comes to these heroes. Another thing that's neat about this game is that it has a rune system. It's kind of like, again, go back to Warframe, where you pick certain perks, in this case runes, to fit into your weapons or your character's abilities that kind of adds to the gameplay, adds more variety to your weapons and your character's abilities. For example, one perk can boost your attack, another perk can boost your recoil direction, another perk can boost your reload speed, or add certain effects like electricity to your weapon's damage, and so on and so forth. So these runes really add to the gameplay and spice it up just a tad bit. But the game is not without its flaws. The abilities do feel nice, and they do add to the gameplay quite a bit, but it doesn't feel like there's any uniqueness to it. Like I said, they do add to the gameplay, but I feel like this is just the same old stuff that I've seen from Destiny 2 and Warframe. With Viessa, the ice powers do add to the gameplay. I keep going back to this, but it's true. But I'm just freezing enemies, throwing up little waves of ice, shooting ice blast, very similar things that you see from Frost from Warframe, or from a Stasis Warlock from Destiny 2. It's just stuff that I've seen before, or unfortunately, stuff that I've seen better utilized from these other games. Game is not without its other issues. There are occasionally frame rate drops, occasional skipping in cinematic scenes, really janky cuts. When I say skipping, I mean really janky cuts that just make the game feel a little, alright, I guess they didn't try to fix this. But to be fair, this is a beta. I do expect some things to be fixed once we get to the final product, and then we can really scrutinize what we see from that. But for the most part, I I think these things could be potentially fixed when the real full game comes out. But again, I'm just being optimistic. I'm I'm really hoping that they can actually pull this off. Other things that I've noticed from the game that I feel like do deserve to be scrutinized or criticized is that there's really no diversity in the enemies. Yes, you have your heavier tank-like enemies, you have your sniper enemies, and you have your enemies that just are regular trash mob enemies that just sit there and shoot or sit there or charge at you or what have you. You even have the exploder enemies that you sometimes see from Destiny 2, only obviously they put a little unique twist on these guys. But I feel like there's no real uniqueness to the enemies. Again, I keep going back to Destiny 2 and Warframe, but I feel like that's fair due to it being a very, very similar comparison. These enemies don't feel unique at all. At least with Destiny 2, there's several different types of races, and every one of those races make themselves feel unique. The Cabal are heavier brute type enemies. The Fallen are more agile. The let's say the Hive have magical powers that make them feel unique. These enemies just have different slightly colors to them. Nothing really too much to make them stand out. Again, this may be due to the fact that it's an early product and that there might be more to the beta. I want to be hopeful about this, but again, this is my first impressions, and I feel like I should be seeing more uniqueness to the enemy types and more abilities to be seen from them. So, as you're about to see in this clip, I'm about to take out these couple enemies, and I'm not even paying attention to what I'm shooting at all. I'm just hip firing. Bam! No effort whatsoever. And this is just from what I've seen. People could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but this seems to be a controller thing. The aim assist just for hip firing is ridiculous, and kind of a little bit when you're ADSing too. But hip fire is absolutely busted. Not even paying attention, and I'm taking these guys out like they're nothing. So this game, like I said, it's a beta. And from what I've seen so far, it does have potential. It does look like it might be able to be something. But I feel like there are quite a bit of issues still left for the devs to try to work out. So hopefully they can get some of these bugs and these little issues straightened out before the full release. But as a beta, it's alright. Do I think it could be a Destiny killer or something that can give Warframe a run for its money? Maybe. Possibly, but there would have to be a lot of work put in. But do I think it could be a Destiny killer? At this very moment, I really don't think so. Like I said, the devs would have to put a lot of work in for this game. To touch on a couple other things, so far, if I had to rate the game from the beta, and I feel like that's not too fair, but to give early impressions, the gameplay feels okay, but the abilities feel a little mid. The gunplay does feel a little mid and a little janky. The story, I'll be real honest here, the story feels super mid. Like we're talking like low tier mid. So I think this game's okay. I would have to see more of it. I think it does have potential, but it does feel mid in a lot of areas. Like I said, the story feels like a low mid. Not the worst story I've seen, but it's pretty low tier mid. So I want the game to get better. I'm hoping the devs can pull off some miracles when it comes to the full release. But like I said, this is my initial thoughts on the beta. I'm wanting good things to come out of it. I'm hoping that the developers can pull some miracles off and get this game into a good place. But those are my thoughts. Hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out with the channel, helps get the YouTube algorithm working in the channel's favor, helps me out. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game. Let me know what your impressions are. Also, hit that notification bell so you can be informed whenever I go live or upload any new content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.